Hello and welcome. In today's video I want to talk about what I wish I would have done differently when I started working in IT. I got into IT only with a very short-term vision in a certain way. I didn't really have my entire career planned out, and I don't expect you to plan your entire career, but you should look at least 2 or 3 steps ahead so that you're heading in the right direction. Back then for me, I was only looking at the very next step, and then I had to figure out what the next step would be. And of course that impacts career development and the success. So yes, I figured it out at one point, but I wish I would have known earlier. Hello and welcome. My name is Christoph Puetz and I'm your IT career guide. Here on my YouTube channel, I talk about careers in information technology and anything that comes with it. I definitely would have been growing my career and income a little bit faster than I really did. I have no complaints, my career went great, but if I would have known. So the next thing that I wish I would have known when I started working in IT, recognize opportunities quicker. And here I really mean like evaluate situations and not necessarily make important decisions on the fly. Another example, at one point fairly early on in my career, I would have had an opportunity to actually get into software programming, software development. It really interested me and I kind of asked, but I really should have asked the question properly with dedication and go to my manager and say, hey, I would like to get into software development. What can I do really to make that transition from my current role into software development? And there's a little more to that story, but in general, yes, I kind of asked and I did not really ask that appropriate question in the right way. So another time, really another example from my career, I was offered a position higher up, but it would have required to move out of state. But all I could think of in that moment was really that I didn't want to move. I liked where I was. So I did not spend enough time to really evaluate the opportunity and to weigh the up and downs and how it would impact my career. So I made that decision too early, and yeah, over time, who knows where I would have been with my career if I would have just spent a little more time thinking about it, maybe consult with friends and family about it. So the next thing really that I wish I would have known when I started working in IT is the importance of projects. Projects are really what adds spice to an IT career. That's really where the rubber hits the road. Sure, your day-to-day work, business as usual, all that stuff matters and it gets you the skills that you need to successfully work on projects. But the project work itself, that elevates the game. It pushes you out of your comfort zone in many cases, and I think it elevates you to that next level in your career. So I really wish I would have known earlier about the importance of projects. I might have volunteered earlier and really looked for the good projects and not just work on a project. So if there's a choice, it's like you want to go and work on that good one. But if you don't volunteer at all, well, where will you end up? You will end up with the projects that carry the least challenge or are really just gruesome, stupid, boring work. So you get the idea. Of course, volunteering for projects and more difficult work, it will look challenging and could be scary at first. But project work, it's really that type of interesting work that I think that you will do, that you will enjoy when you work in IT. And that could be fun and keeps you motivated. The next thing that I wish I would have known when I started in IT is the importance of people skills. No, not necessarily the basic stuff of being nice and respectful. Of course, that is standard. But more about the importance of like networking with people, thinking more strategically about your connections, not looking out for your personal gain, but really more consider the bigger picture. Sometimes it's not about you, and when you bring in more than just yourself, it might elevate your game, it might elevate your career and puts you in a very different spotlight that could really change the trajectory of your career. So think about really the people game. It's sometimes a game, unfortunately. It also involves politics in some cases. But overall, networking, staying in touch with people, having frequent touch points, even if people are outside of your department or your immediate group. So it's very important that you have those relationships built up. So, and then the last item I want to mention that I wish I would have known when I started working in IT. Do not put up with toxic work environments or toxic people around you. I'm still amazed of some places or people I had to work with. And in hindsight, yeah, there was one particular place and manager where I really felt like literally bullied. But I stuck around for way too long and it impacted my happiness. I was really stressed out. I should have just left. And that really put me into a position later on where I thought, I do not want this have to happen again to me. I learned my lesson, and one important thing that I really learned from it is put yourself into a position where you can always always be able to walk away from a toxic work environment. I cannot say it loud enough. It is so important for your mental health that you want to be able to walk away from a company or position to protect your mental health and happiness. I learned this the hard way. I had a really bad experience. I was backstabbed. And after that I said, this will never ever happen to me again. I will always be in that financial position where I can literally just walk off the job and be okay. That piece for me is really important, and I hope that you get to the same realization at one point and put the priorities into the right place. Protect yourself from a toxic work environment. Protect yourself from toxic people. Stay away from those at all costs. So hindsight is 2020, and I cannot change what happened in general, but I'm actively deploying these learnings and the skills that I gained. Wherever I work, all the companies, all the places where I started working, I put these learnings into place. So I volunteer for projects. I look for the challenging projects. I put myself outside of my comfort zone. It makes a difference in my life. It really made a difference in my career because I'm much more content, I'm much more happy with the work that I do. And of course, there are situations where you're not so happy. It always happens. But you need to be able to separate, okay, is this maybe a short-term thing? Or is this more like, let's say, an environmental, a systematic thing that is happening? So, and with the understanding and the knowledge of the items I just explained here, you will be able to really drive your career with a little more dedication, with the right steps at the right time, and then succeed in the long run. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are and what other learnings you maybe have picked up along the way. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, family, and peers. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.